protesters defy police ban on demonstrations in Kano, take to streets, government houses. Can you imagine? Well, I heard that the police is banning protest in Kano. And I say, why would police ban protest in Kano? Of what? Is it not a democratic setting again? And who is police to ban protest? And why are they banning protest? Is protest not part of democratic system and processes? Do people not have freedom of speech and freedom to demonstrate and show their concern again? This Nigeria is gradually becoming a dictatorial system. Quite unfortunate. Hundreds of protesters are currently on the street of Kano in defiance of the ban on demonstrations by the police. Sahara reporters earlier reported that the police command in Kano Northwest had banned all forms of protest in the state with immediate effect. Now, it was gathered that the police decision was made after they received a report that two dominant parties, the New Nigerian People's Party and the All Progressive Congress, had assembled a rented crowd to embark on protests without the endorsement of the Nigerian Labour Congress. Now, the State Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Hussein Gomel, while announcing the ban, vowed that any attempt to disobey it would be treated as an offense and threat to national security. He said members of the public should therefore note that it has come to our knowledge that both the APC and NNPP members are currently mobilizing rented crowd in the guise of civil society coalition and without clearance from the leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress and prior approval from the security agencies in the state. Both organizers as well as the umbrella body should note that any attempt to disrespect NLC and the security agencies in the state by playing around the fragile security situation which the combined security agencies have been managing is not only uncivil, criminal, but also an offense against national security. But shortly after the ban, according to Daily Trust, the protesters took to the streets and headed for the government house. The protest, according to the report, was led by the president of the Kano Civil Society Forum, KCSF, Ibrahim Waya. Wow. So the question is, anybody has the right to protest, so long they're not violent, so long they're not destroying government property, so long they're not causing harm to anybody. Why would they not protest? If anybody has the right to protest, go and protest, and then understand why they're protesting and see if there's anything that can be done to manage the situation and not banning them completely, even though it's making it sound like it's cooperating with government and the NLC. We don't understand, because the police in this country has been very, very unscrupulous and very difficult to trust and believe. Okay, so saying that anybody protesting will need clearance from NLC and from the security agencies, I don't see that happen. Okay, because there could be other reasons for protest other than NLC related issues, and those people should be able to protest on their own. Okay, so this police department or police system in Kano trying to ban protest is uncivil as well. You can't ban protest in a democratic system. You can't stop people from demonstrating. It's not possible. Okay? But the fact remains that whatever they're trying to do, they just need to know that you can't stop it. Now, the people have gone to the street and they are now heading to the government house. So whatever is going to happen, let it happen. And trust the Northerners. They're not like Southerners. They will just say, shege, banza. They don't go. Okay? And so if you like, how many are you going to shoot? How many are you going to arrest? How many are you going to deal with? Okay, already these people don't even have lives. So even when you collect them, you will keep them, you get tired, you will still bury them by yourself. And that is the thing. So, but the fact remains that you cannot stop protest. Is part of democracy and it is civil. It is even more uncivil for security agencies to ban protest or for government to ban protest. That is even more uncivil. That is the truth about it. So if they think that what the protesters are doing is uncivil, then let them, go ahead and take their action and see what will become of their action. That is it. saying that they should not protest is even more uncivil. That is the way I see it. Okay, but again, let's understand why they are protesting. What is their reason for protesting? Because the reason for protesting is not stated here in this place, but there must be a reason for protest. What are we talking about? NLC, All Progressive Congress and NNPP are combining efforts to go and protest. It means that they must be fighting a common cause. Okay, and probably their common cause might be against the government of the past or present. That is the truth. And so if a whole All Progressive Congress and NNPP are merging, coming together to protest, then it means that there's something that is wrong affecting the state. Okay, and but if they are protesting separately as opposition force, then that is also going to be violent, and police can also make sure that the protest does not lead to any form of violence in the state. That is what it should be doing. In advanced countries, when there's a protest like this, what they do is that police stand by to watch and see that it does not degenerate into something unprecedented. It does not degenerate into something unpleasant. That is what the police are supposed to do, and not banning protest. The same way they look at the whole Nigeria and they say they ban protest, both state and federal level. You can't ban protest. It's part of civil system. Okay? That is the only way the common man can voice out his concerns. And because if he's to go to a seat of government, nobody will admit him, not talk of listening to him. But when he goes to the street, then they will be forced to listen to him to understand why he's going on the street. And that is the way democracy is practiced. So you can't ban them, police. Just make sure you stand by, watch the protest, and make sure it does not degenerate into something that is unexpected or unplanned for. That is the way to go. Not banning them or shooting them or flogging them or doing anything that is not civil. So again, police saying that their protest is uncivil, okay, is even unexpected. That shouldn't come from them. In fact, rather banning protest within the democratic system is even more uncivil. That is the way it is. So let's just be careful and be sure that we're not subjecting the society into slavery, into a dictatorial system. Because when you ban protest, you are trying to stifle the voice of the masses, and that is dictatorial. Of course, we know that we have been facing dictatorship under democracy, and that is exactly what these people are doing. Under Buhari, the shooting of the NSAS group in Lagos, that is dictatorial. Okay, banning protests at various points is dictatorial. Okay, and when they say they want to meet to discuss, you go and scatter the venue, is dictatorial. So all these things we are seeing is dictatorship under democracy, and it's actually not allowed. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comments.